With this exhibition, I risked what I hadn't dared to do for 90 years. I was really afraid that I couldn't manage it. This exhibition, as they say, is my report to the country. Here I am. I did this or that, and I think it has worked. This solo exhibition is the only one I have shown in my life. And I'll tell you why this is so. When I graduated from the academy, there were only 4 or 5 professionals in Georgia who were allowed to produce sculptures. I always showed my works at exhibitions, and at one of them I displayed one of my pieces, which I thought was worth exhibiting. They started mocking me. That was it. After that, I never exhibited my works again.
The National Gallery has the opportunity to exhibit artists who have a very long creative history, but who are unknown to the broader public. Jemal Japaridze is one of such artists. He turns 90 this year, and the current exhibition is his first solo show, named Retrospective. This is how the artist Mamuka Japaridze, son of Jemal Japaridze, called the event. Retrospective exhibits all of the pictures and significant images in sculpture that Jemal Japaridze produced throughout the course of his lengthy creative life.
It's very strange, but somehow my father remained in the shadows for such a long time. In fact, he was a genius even as a child. At the age of 14, he was already making portraits in stone with his hands at the Pioneer's Palace. I have seen a lot of innovations in my works. I envisaged the position of a sculpture differently. This is how a man's head should sit, but I twisted it this way. I believe that even a twisted head can express certain deep ideas and attributes.
My father's artistic work frequently features women, and he's incredibly passionate about the abilities that women possess. When he produces a figure of a child, he fails and becomes annoyed. The natural birth of a child is wonderful, and he admires the capacity of a woman. In short, woman is an object of his fetish and admiration.
I was born on August 22, 1932, in Tbilisi. Along with me, my 2 brothers were also born. It was a period of hardship. Soon war broke out. My father was conscripted into the army. We were left all alone with our mother. People were suffering from poverty and homelessness, but my mother managed to raise 3 sons. I appreciate the role of a woman very much, even more than the role of a man. In my work, I have always paid attention to girls and women, unlike other Georgian artists who keep them beyond their focus. Women are interestingly depicted in my father's works. A strong woman standing up for her child, or this family protecting their child. An archeress or something like that. In his own way, he is more of a feminist than a sexist.
Inspiration in his works also comes from traditional Georgian archaeological ceramics, from pots and things like that. At the time, a large exposition was held at the Janashia Museum by Avtovarazzi, as far as I know. It was an excellent exhibition of pre-Christian black and red Georgian pottery. This is what artists frequently saw at the time. They did not only learn from the academic school, where they were taught how to create a figure. I think they mainly studied under the influence of certain museum expositions, which were quite common at the time. He was a very curious man and often participated in archaeological expeditions.
The statue of Shota Rustaveli is a historical theme. I made this sculpture back then, the small one which is now on display. In Akhalkalaki, there is a 4-meter statue made of bronze. It's a huge statue. The main subject matter was war. I was working on the theme of those who had died in the war. Who would feature from the Soviet period? Lenin, Stalin, Molotov, and Kaganovich, and so on. That was the topic. Was there anything more? I didn't produce work that showed such things. You see how many works I have created. Can you see any political theme among them? I also worked with marble. There are works that cannot be cast in bronze or in other materials. Something else is more suitable. Many artists from my generation honed their skills in the studio established by Jemal Japaridze. My father had a very strong liberal attitude towards the distinguished, and thus he paved the way for us. Nevertheless, even today we don't have an easy relationship because he stands firmly by his ideas. It's really good, and I know he also appreciates my ideas. He went through this period as well, from the end of Stalin's rule until the 90s. He had his reaction to many things that emerged during that period, to challenges, to almost everything. King Tamar, for example, he produced as a diploma work, but it was not approved because Moscow did not allow it. This was a period when the theme of king was unacceptable in the Soviet Union. This was the period when the national movement in Georgian art began. King Tamar is our history, our beauty, the nature of Georgia, and everything. I really didn't think that I was doing it for money. I'm telling you the truth. I loved it, and that's why I did it.